Hi, it's Michelle from Equality Pays, and once again doing another video talking about the gender pay gap. And in this video, I want to talk to you about the number of women that you have in your senior leadership or executive team. Now, for a lot of you, the answer is going to be very few, right down to none. And I have seen this in quite a number of gender pay gap reports. And when looking at the action plan, what I've then seen is that one of the ways to kind of combat such a big percentage in terms of your pay gap, some organisations are saying, well, we will recruit more women into the senior leadership team. And it's just that's what we're going to do, full stop. And on the face of it, you might think, yep, that's the right thing to do. If you're very male dominated at the top, then just get some more women in. But actually, that's not a very cohesive or sustainable way to address the issue. The reason being is that it can lead to animosity and resentment from people that are already in the team. This feeling that women are basically being parachuted in because, you want your organisation to look better, you want your percentages to go down, and you want to look good, essentially. And it's very difficult for somebody to come into that environment and to thrive when there's this low level resentment and animosity and lack of understanding from other people. So that's the first issue. The second is that if that's the kind of atmosphere, then the person that's being parachuted in will sense that, and there is a questioning around, well, how would they feel to know that a big driver of why they're there is because they're female, and they're there essentially to bump numbers and to make them look good and to be wheeled out as their one woman in the senior leadership team. And it's almost a bit like, look, we found a prize, and look at her, she's a woman, speak, do things for us. It's not a good place to be in, to feel that you're not there because of your talent, but you're there because of a characteristic essentially that you have. And that works not just for women, but for people with disabilities and for women of colour, or anyone of colour essentially. And the third issue that I have with the idea of kind of just hiring senior women at the top is that you seem to forget all of the other women that are in your whole talent pipeline, or your whole pipeline of your organisation. And what you really should be focusing on is promotion at all levels, not just the top. Because in order for someone to get to the top, they have to start somewhere, and most of us, or I should say all of us, start from the bottom and we work our way up. And women tend to get stuck in the middle. But that is where you have a cohort of talented women who may need support in a different way to help them move up. And that's what you should be focusing on. You should be focusing on growing the number of women in your organisation in a sustainable way, and enabling them, supporting them to be able to move up. And that may mean it will take you longer, but it will be much more sustainable. So, for example, I know of a large recruitment firm that have a policy of trying really hard not to hire senior leadership from outside. They have a program where they nurture people. They basically say, this firm is like a family, and it's a large firm. This firm's like a family, and what we want to do is we want to nurture the talent that we have. So rather than parachuting in people at the top, we want to nurture the talent that we have and help them move up sustainably. And because of that sustainable way of looking at promotion, they have more women in senior leadership because it's much more organic. It means that you've invested time and money. These women are loyal to you, but they are growing themselves, they are being upskilled, and they are staying with you because they see that you're putting all this time and money into them, and they want to give back, they want to stay with you. They see that there's a possibility for them to progress, and that is a much better and more sustainable way to alter your gender pay gap figures, rather than just parachuting a woman in and then wheeling her out as your token woman that has helped you skew your figures. So if this was your plan, or this was one of the things that you were looking at, and you had only really thought about the top line, i.e., getting more women into senior leadership, then I would strongly urge you to come to one of our strategy days. It's myself and Natasha Stromberg who are running them. And in those strategy days, we will break down what your gender pay gap data says about your firm. We will foster conversation to help you elicit the evidence and the stories behind your pay gap data. And with that, we can create and craft a unique action plan alongside a checklist of things that you can do to start closing your pay gap. The first strategy day is taking place in Manchester on the 29th of January. So if you are interested in booking a spot, there are only 12 because we're keeping it small because we're doing deep work. If you're interested in booking a spot, then please do contact either myself or Natasha, and we would love to have you on board for the day. Bye for now.